Chapter 13. Japanese Acrobat. Where was Jean Passepartout on the 14th of November? Surprisingly, but he was in Yokohama too. We left him in Hong Kong, sleeping in the bar. Finally, he woke up, got up with difficulty, and left the bar. "The Carnatic," he said again and again on his way to the port. Luckily, he found the ship ready to leave, climbed on board, and fell senseless on the deck. A sailor carried him to a cabin, and Passepartout slept there until the following morning. "What will Mr. Fogg say to me? Well, I have caught the ship, that is the main thing," he thought. Jean tried to find Mr. Fogg and Aouda on board the Carnatic, but they were not there. Suddenly he remembered everything. "I had to tell my master about the changes in the timetable, but I didn't. Now Mr. Fogg and Aouda have missed the ship. My master will lose his bet. Maybe the detective has caught Mr. Fogg and he is in prison now." Now here was he, Passepartout, on the road to Japan. "What shall I do? I am coming to Japan, but I have no money at all." It is impossible to describe how much he ate and drank during his voyage. He ate and drank for his master, for Aouda, and for himself. He ate as if Japan were a country with no food at all. On the morning of the 14th, the Carnatic arrived at the port of Yokohama. Passepartout got off the ship and went walking about the streets. "Shall I go to the French or British consul? No, I don't want to tell them my story." Suddenly he came to a Japanese theater with "Company of Japanese Acrobats" on the window. "When I was young, I worked in the circus. I can try to get a job here. I don't want to die of hunger," he thought, and came into the theater. Jean found the manager and asked him if they needed an acrobat. Luckily, the manager needed one, and Jean got a job. He became one of the Long Noses. They did the most amazing balancing trick in the circus show. Each acrobat had a long nose made of bamboo, 5 or 6 feet long. A group of acrobats lay down on the floor with their noses up. A second group balanced themselves upon the noses of the first group. A third group stood on the noses of the second. That was how they made a human pyramid. That evening, on the 14th of November, Passepartout worked with the first group of acrobats. The music began to play, and the audience clapped like mad. Their pyramid reached the ceiling of the circus hall. Suddenly, it began to shake. One of the Long Noses jumped to his feet with the words, "Master, Master, I found you." The voice was that of Passepartout. The acrobats lost their balance, and the pyramid fell like a house of cards. "Well, that is fine. Nice to see you, Jean. Let us go to the ship then," said Mr. Fogg coldly. Half an hour later, the Englishmen, Aouda, and Jean were all on board the American ship, the General Grant. In 21 days the ship will cross the Pacific, I am sure. I will be in San Francisco on the 2nd of December, in New York on the 11th, in London on the 20th. Everything is going well, thought Mr. Fogg.